welcome to my channel. My name is Gina. If you're new here or if you're returning, thanks for stopping by. As you can see by the title, I just wanted to share my Blackathon TBR with y'all because I'm excited. And so I decided to join Team Sci-Fi Fantasy. Duh. Even though I have been reading more like contemporary lately, I just thought it would be easier to do the prompts for sci-fi fantasy based on the authors that I definitely want to get to. And so, real quick, we're just going to go over, this should be relatively easy. Like, if I was an easy person, it would be 4 books. Wham, bam, we're done. Nah. I don't like making decisions, so I have like 2 to 3 books for each prompt. And we'll see how many of them I get to throughout the month. But my plan is to read basically 1 of each prompt every week. And so, but I'm just going to tell you by prompt, and we're going to start with the Rita Woods? Yeah, Rita Woods prompt, which was books that have a spiritual theme under the overarching traveler's theme. So for this, I am checking out Nnedi Okorafor's Who Fears Death. So Who Fears Death is a far future post-nuclear Holocaust Africa where genocide plagues one region, and a woman names her daughter Onyesonwu, which means who fears death in an ancient African tongue. As she grows up, she discovers her magical destiny to end the genocide of her people. Well, we'll see. I mean, I loved Binti, so Nnedi Okorafor is already like, take my money, take it. So I don't think I'm gonna have a problem with that. The next spiritual book is, guess what? Also a Nnedi Okorafor book, and that is After the Rain, which was just published this month in January. So hopefully it's available at the library. But After the Rain is a graphic novel. I'm getting really into graphic novels lately. But it takes place in a small Nigerian town during a violent and unexpected storm. A woman named Chioma answers a knock at her door and is horrified to see a boy with a severe head wound standing at her doorstep. He reaches for her and his touch burns like fire. Something is very wrong. Haunted and hunted, Chioma must embrace her heritage in order to survive. So yeah. Once again, though, quite a few people have labeled this as horror. But hopefully I can handle it, because I'm bad. I'm bad at that stuff. So bad. The last spiritual book, and I'm definitely going to get hopefully get to the 2 Nnedi ones. This one, I do want to read it. Nnedi's higher on my list. But this one is by Carol McDonnell. And this was published in 2007. So I don't know what people think of it, really. It's called Wind Follower. Didn't I say that already? Oh man, I need to go to bed. Although it is not entirely to her liking, grief-stricken Satha, a dark-skinned woman from a poor Thiseni clan, weds young Loic, the wealthy Durrani son of the king's first captain. Loic, graced with ability to see into the hearts and minds of others, begins to help Satha overcome her sorrows. Despite coming from different tribes, they begin to forge a life together. But when Satha's own compassion is used against her and a treacherous enemy contrives to dishonor her in Loic's absence, Loic's love turns to anger and disgust. Embittered, Loic must still avenge his honor and Satha's, and he sets out on a journey that brings despair as well as spiritual discovery. It does seem that there might be a little bit of religion in there, and I'm not really religious myself, and I tend to shy away from those kinds of stories, so we'll have to see how embedded it is, or if I can just read through it. For the next prompt, we're going to talk about, who is this one? Tade Thompson's prompt of aliens, alien technology or alien civilization. And so for this one, I've also got 3 books that I'm going to attempt to get to. The first one is Escaping Exodus by Nikki Drayden, which I heard about on Jerry's channel, Onyx Pages. It was one of her favorite books of 2020. I'm reading a lot of books from Jerry's favorite books list. Escaping Exodus is a story of a young woman named Seski Kali, heir to the command of a biological city-sized starship carved up from the insides of a spacefaring beast. Her clan has just now culled their latest ship, and the workers are busy stripping down the bonework for building materials, rerouting the circulatory system for mass transit, and preparing the cavernous creature for the onslaught of the general populace still in stasis. It's all part of the cycle her clan had instituted centuries ago. And of course, there wouldn't be much of a story if things didn't go terribly, terribly wrong. And this cover, look at it, it's so pretty. Oh, the greens and the purples. Loving it. Excited for that. The next one on my aliens list is, what just happened? Fuck. Bitch. The next one I'm going to attempt to get to is actually one by Tade Thompson, and this is Rosewater. Oh man, I didn't realize it was the first in a trilogy. Smack myself. Oh. So this is a science fiction, speculative fiction, Nigerian. Rosewater is a town on the edge, a community formed around the edges of a mysterious alien biodome. Its residents comprise the hopeful, the hungry, and the helpless. People eager for a glimpse inside the dome or a taste of its rumored healing powers. Caro is a government agent with a criminal past. He has seen inside the biodome and doesn't care to again. But when something begins killing off others like himself, Caro must defy his masters to search for an answer, facing his dark history and coming to a realization about a horrifying future. Yeah. I don't know why it makes me scared, but something about it just, I'm like, but I'm gonna read it anyway. do it. I'm gonna do it, and hopefully I don't regret my decision. The last Aliens book I'm going to read, I should save this and wait till I can actually join in Jerry's Octavia Butler slow read. But I don't think it's ever going to happen. I'm already behind, so whatever. I'm just going to read whatever OEB I want. But this is Octavia Butler's Dawn. This is the... oh, man. When will I learn? I don't pay attention, apparently. This is another start of another series, and I'm... starting the Exogenesis series. Lilith Iapo has just lost her husband and son when atomic fire consumes Earth, the last stage of the planet's final war. Hundreds of years later, Lilith awakes deep in the hold of a massive alien spacecraft piloted by the Oankali, who arrived just in time to save humanity from extinction. They have kept Lilith and other survivors asleep for centuries as they learned whatever they could about Earth. Now it is time for Lilith to lead them back to her homeworld, but life among the Oankali on the newly resettled planet will be nothing like it was before. The Oankali survive by genetically merging with primitive civilizations, whether their new hosts like it or not. For the first time since the nuclear holocaust, Earth will be inhabited, grass will grow, animals will run, and people will learn to survive the planet's untamed wilderness. But their children will not be human. Not exactly. Like, it just amazes me. Like, Octavia Butler, like, she wrote this stuff back in the 80s. Like, she's amazing. I don't know. Like, amazing. I want to, like, read everything. Everything. And for the last Blackathon prompt, that is the Octavia Butler prompt. And that is the time travel prompt. I already read Kindred, so I can't use that one. But I did, I've heard twinklings, rumors, that in the, I think it's an anthology. I don't know if it's other authors or just her, but How Long Till Black Future Month by N.K. Jemisin. I've heard it's got some of the stories have some time travel, so hopefully that is correct. And oh yeah, it's all by Jemisin. Okay, so in these stories, Jemisin sharply examines modern society, infusing magic into the mundane and drawing deft parallels in the fantasy realms of her imagination. Dragons and hateful spirits haunt the flooded city of New Orleans in the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina. We have a utopian society watches our world from a parallel universe, trying to learn from our mistakes. A black mother in the Jim Crow South must figure out how to save her daughter from a fae offering impossible promises. And then in the short story, The City Born Great, a young street kid fights to give birth to an old metropolis's soul. Oh, so I wonder if that's like what? Like the precursor to The City We Became, which I loved. So hopefully there's time travel in this. If not, don't worry, I got a backup. Because decisions. And for this one, it's got a lot of great recs during a reading sprint live with Locked Bree from Locked Booktition. And so this one, Keith Lehman, called Long Division. Of course, this wasn't on my radar before. Never gonna get this Goodreads list down. This was a debut novel. It's a Mark Twain-esque exploration of celebrity, authorship, violence, religion, and coming of age in post-Katrina Mississippi. This contains two interwoven stories. In the first, it's 2013. After an onstage meltdown during a nationally televised quiz contest, 14-year-old Citoyen City Coulson becomes an overnight YouTube celebrity. The next day, he's sent to stay with his grandmother in the small coastal community of Malahatchee, where a young girl named Baze Shepherd has recently disappeared. Before leaving, City is given a strange book without an author called Long Division. It's like a book within a book. I did read this, but I don't think I was paying attention. He learns that one of the book's main characters is also named City Coulson. But Long Division is set in 1985. This 1985 City, along with his friend and love object, Shalea Crump, discovers a way to travel into the future and steals a laptop and cell phone from an orphaned teenage rapper called Baze Shepherd. They ultimately take these with them all the way back to 1964 to help another time traveler they meet protect his family from the Klan. City's two stories ultimately converge in the mysterious work shed behind his grandmother's, where he discovers the key to Baze's disappearance. Sounds so good. So good. And then also we have the group book for this team, and that's called The Lesson by Cadwell Turnbull. So the lesson, obviously science fiction, aliens. So this one also would fit the aliens prompt. The lesson explores the nature of belief, the impact of colonialism, and asks how far are we willing to go for progress. An alien ship rests over a water island. For 5 years, the people of the U.S. Virgin Islands have lived with the Yana, a race of super advanced aliens, on a research mission they will not fully disclose. They are benevolent in many ways, but meet any act of aggression with disproportional wrath. This has led to a strained relationship between the Yana and the local Virgin Islanders, and a peace that cannot last. A year after the death of a young boy at the hands of an Yana, 3 families find themselves at the center of the inevitable conflict, witness and victim to events that will touch everyone and teach a terrible lesson. Whew. So, we'll see. It doesn't have a ton, like, a lot of ratings or reviews. So hopefully we can add to that. You know, it was an Audie Award nominee for science fiction in 2020. I don't know what any of these awards are, but cool. Okay, so that is my Blackathon TBR. Let me know if you are participating. Oops, my focus. Hey, stop moving, Gina. Let me know if you are participating, if what you're reading, and if you've read anything on my list. Don't forget to hit the like button if you want. Subscribe if you want more. And I will see you in the next one.